Hi, welcome back to By Storytellers. I'm here today with Robert Heggie of Nontraditional Retail. Um, he's actually a friend of my dad's, a longtime friend of my dad's. Um,
True that.
and basically, if you have a product that you want to take to market, there's nobody better in the world to call than Robert Heggie. So
Whoa.
I think, I mean, you place things, he's got so much success, it's hard to describe it in a sentence. There's so much experience over a lot of years. So Robert, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you want to talk about first, your business.
Well, they're taking your lead on what you felt your viewers would find of interest. It falls into kind of two categories. That if you've got a product or a service and you want to sell it,
Hmm.
and then of course if you want some advice on that process, and then likewise sometimes advice can be a case study that you can
Hmm.
learn from instead of someone writing on the blackboard
Hmm.
101 to. So if a person has a product or a service, uh, one of my retail, I was asked to be a guest lecturer at UCLA, and the prof only gave me kind of like, we'll talk about retail. Not much different than what we're here for today, right?
Right.
So I'm standing in front of about 300 people, students, probably all smarter than me, and and I said, well, your professor asked me to talk a little bit about retail, so why don't we talk about the first thing is let's talk about the six P's of retail. And he interrupted me and he said, Robert, no offense, but there's only five P's of retail. And then I said, okay, let me guess. It's product, price, place, promotion, and people. Yes, that's the five. And I said, well, there's actually six. Well, Robert, what's the six P? I said, plan.
Hmm. Really? That should be number one.
But that shows you what's missing in a lot, especially
Yeah.
entrepreneurs or inventors and all that kind of stuff. But I've added another P. Now I have seven P's.
Oh, wow. What is it?
You want to guess?
Um, Predictions?
How about planet?
Planet? Oh, okay, for global marketing. Okay.
Well, the planet, so let me talk about this because this is going to kind of touch into anyone who's into product and services, and I'll just kind of roll with it. You can, of course, correct me.
Okay.
The seven P's of retail uh, encompasses everything, and at that class that I just told you about, I asked everybody, what do you think is the most important P? Of course, let's not forget, the
Mhm.
prophet just said, oh, there's only five. And
Yeah.
then we said, that's Larry's plan. So everybody put their hands up. Oh, what do you think is the most important P? So I'll ask you, Debbie, what do you think is the
I
most important P?
I think the plan is the most important.
And that's almost what every hand that came up in the class said because we just talked about it.
Okay.
And the answer is, in my humble opinion, it's people.
Okay.
Now here's why. You can have the best widget in the world, right? And and you can, with the wrong people, you can ruin an opportunity.
Hmm.
Conversely, you can have a ho-hum product or a service, the best or not so best. But with the right people, you can make a success story.
Hmm.
So the P is the people under the the seven P's means your team, whoever you're building, could be one person, could be 10, could be more. The people is you, the company. Then there's the other people. There's the end user. There's the buyer, the store manager. There's a senior buyer or divisional or GMM or DMM. And then nowadays, there's social media, the people that are there. So people is everything that involves, but the most important is the people who are running the show, who own or are managing that product. And so in my opinion, that's key. And there's lots of examples of ho-hum things that become very successful. So the next thing is uh, when we have a new client or prospective client, we say that one of the more important things is to do a competitive comparative analysis of your product.
Hmm.
And that, as simple as that might sound, it's not just going out and getting all the prices of, if you got a widget, you find out what all the widgets are, and you put it on a spreadsheet and you have your prices. And that's not how you do it. Uh, First of all, if it's to help you decide what your best price is, you have to know what is the differentiate? What are the features and benefits of the other widgets? Do you have one that's one color only? Do you have one that's maybe this size and everybody else is that size? So in simple terms, it's you becoming an expert in whatever category that your widget is in.
Hmm.
Not kind of an expert. You better be the best expert.
Hmm.
And one of the reasons why that's important is because not only your ability to then take your product to market and understand the competition and all that kind of stuff, but maybe it's akin to a lawyer going into a court and telling a judge about all these different cases that back up his claim, and the judge relaxes and says, "This guy knows what he's talking about."
Hmm.
Same thing with a buyer. If you're going into a buyer and you are clearly an expert,
Hmm.
the best defense is a good offense. When you say,
Right.
"Look, there's four products out there, and they're cheaper than me," as an example, and here's why they are.
Hmm. Yeah.
The old adage of "you get what you pay for." So, so the ability to take anything to market is understanding your competition, making sure you got the right price point. The second thing is, how many times over the years I've been approached and so first of all, is find out what's your vision. So if you have the product, you should be able to explain to a buyer or an investor
Hmm.
what your vision is. You should be able to tell him how you measure success and failure. And you should be able to identify all the channels of distribution that your particular product. So for example, um, the key channels of distribution. We all know that retail is one of them, bricks and mortar.
Hmm.
And now they have a thing they call omni-channel. That means that Walmart has its own .com. It's trying to take down Amazon,
Hmm.
and they used to have two buyers, and now they have one. One buyer looks after
Wow.
omni-channel.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So, and the reason for that is clearer if you're bringing the product to them,
Hmm.
but it should be because they should be, and that's why they call it omni-channel. It's now interplaying with each other. Um, so we can say retail, we can say whether you call it the marketplace or the .com of that retailer.
Hmm.
And then they have inside of mini stores, a lot of it went away during COVID. I fancy it's something I might have started about 1980. I'm aging myself.
Hmm.
When they had a thing in those days, before cell phones,
Hmm.
before computers, where they had a thing called As Seen on TV.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
the red TV.
Yeah.
And I remember I had this when I was at the time I was a senior executive working for the Hudson's Bay Company, and I ended up becoming a part of the management team and had a lot of fun. And I'm prone to say that I went to school. They paid me a lot of money to learn, but what fun! So this as seen on TV thing, I brought her into a store, and she had those hangers. You have one, two, three, four hangers in a row, so you
Hmm.
could have five shirts or whatever, and you take space in your wardrobe. Well, this lady, God bless her, she had to be 150 years old,
Hmm.
and she had the presence of mind to get creative. She borrowed a wardrobe cabinet, set it up beside an escalator, and talked to people as they walked by. She was making more money in one day than about 3,000 square feet
Wow.
around her. Now, why did that happen? It had a cool, hip, groovy product. Okay, had a great price,
Hmm.
had a great place by the escalator. She had a great winning way, good people, and it was good for the planet. You actually
Hmm.
had staving space and all that kind of stuff instead of throwing hangers away. You could do anyway. But that was long before there was road shows or pop-up retail.
Hmm.
But it's an example of a store, bricks and mortar, having a third party come in and do business within a store.
Mhm.
So, so now we're talking about another channel. So the channel is third party business,
Mhm.
pop-up retail, what I call non-traditional retail, hence the name of my company.
Mhm.
So non-traditional retail can be, for example, in Walmart, there's one company of which I happen to be chairman of their advisory board, which has 4 million square feet inside Walmart
Mhm.
in what they call the fifth wall, where you walk in the doorways and it's behind the cash register, and they have about 2,000 subways.
Mhm.
Now that's a store in store with a great brand, a well-known brand, and there's a lot more there. But there's an example of an expert in a particular category with a brand
Mhm.
that operates inside of a store.
Mhm.
There's other examples of store in store programs, which are everything from beauty salons to portrait studios to optical to you name it. And all of these are people who are experts in a certain category. And there are reasons why road shows, you go into a Costco or a BJ's or a Sam's Club, of which we have business happening all the time. 2,000 people a day, your average club walking by an area where someone's showing you a widget. Two things are happening, maybe three. If you're new, you're gonna be collecting data.
Mhm.
If you're a brand new widget that's never been on the market, then you're going to be talking and listening to those customers. It's worth its weight in gold. You may have the wrong price. Oh my God, we're too low. That's happened, by the way. I've
Wow.
had two or three cases where we said, wow, the customer feedback and doing the comparative analysis. So you have thousands of people that you can collect data from. The second thing is you're building your brand.
Mhm.
What's the impact? Think about this. You're driving down a highway and there's a billboard the size of a house on the side of the road. And you look at it, you're done. Now, how does that compare to walking by someone who's demonstrating something in a Costco or a Sam's Club and they say hi to you, you look at something, you hear something, you walk by? Probably not much longer than the flash by, but I promise you, the big difference is you can buy something,
Yeah.
not only hear about it, but the other thing is all these subliminal things that happen. Oh, this must be good. It's
Mhm.
inside of a Costco or a Sam's Club or a BJ's. It must be good because they've gone through all the hoops.
Mhm.
The salesman's been trained and he does uh, a good job of representing uh, the comparative analysis.
Mhm.
So all these things. So there's another channel of distribution, road shows, and then the other one is infomercials,
Mhm.
QVC. So we do
Mhm.
business with the leaders of each of these categories. So these are things that I can speak to because we've been doing them for years. And you like anything else in life, you can meet people and work with people and you find out who are the best. If you live long enough, then you collect a lot of good people.
Mhm.
So the other channel of distribution is if you'll lump it into one channel is TV, shopping, infomercials, and QVC HSN is an example. And it's astounding how a good show on that company can go, the millions that can happen in the matter of minutes,
Mhm.
in a lot of categories. So then you have what we call specialty. And specialty stores can be the obvious, it could be a drug chain, a specialty chain.
Mhm.
It could be a Nordstrom. Nordstrom is not a department store, it's a
Mhm.
specialty store. And there is a difference what defines a Nordstrom compared to a Macy's, for example. Um, and then we have, um, I guess I'll call it the influencers market, which kind of is part of the social media. And there's a capital I influencer and there's a small I. You can pay money, big money, for a celebrity influencer. One of our clients just hired Howie Mandel
Yeah.
for an oil away .us client, and there's an interesting impact of celebrity. Another client that we had arranged was one of our clients was Toast, Tous, out of Barcelona. We had J-Lo as a celebrity client.
Mm.
And all of these things are not just flippantly done. There should be, maybe not always, but there should be a real cost analysis. Is that a brand right celebrity? And the same thing goes with going back to talk to a lot of clients and they go, well, where do you want to be? What's your vision? What's your mission? I go, I want to be in Walmart. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a big chain. It's huge. I want to be there. Okay. Any other reason? No, I just thought I'd do good. Well, why wouldn't you want to be, say, in Target? You know, what's Target? It's mass. We call it mass with class. It's a more upstairs environment. So as a if we were today talking to somebody who has a product or a service, uh, you want to go into a brand right location. You don't want to put LVMH in a dollar store.
Right.
So we end up with um, helping, which probably sets apart our company, is we fancy, we say we're not brokers because brokers don't necessarily get involved with, is it the right packaging? Where do you want to be? And what are the different sizes and all that? So, and then there's e-commerce as a channel of distribution.
Mm-hmm.
A great example of a real leader in that is Tactful, Taqtful. They're a part of our team, and they took pop sockets from 60,000 a year to about 1.3 billion. And I'm saying that because I'm impressed. Amazon is not necessarily a big area of expertise for me, but the folks that we deal with and are part of our team, there's a lot of expertise required today. And Amazon is a really good example of being able to monitor, measure, tweak, and change, uh, and then get it right. Or like one of the companies that I happen to be one of the advisors with, Summit Retail Solutions. They have a great expression. The owner of the company, Chad Powers, break the code. So we come in and we do a roadshow for 5 days, and after the first 1 or 2, 3 days, you're gonna, no matter how much time you spend being prepared for that roadshow, you're gonna learn. You're just gonna tweak something, and then you'll find that you'll break the code. You have the right pitch, the right starting, the stopping power. But breaking the code also applies to a company that's opening up in a department store.
Mm-hmm.
What's the right place to be in? How are you going to support it? Micro marketing, geofencing, all the stuff that goes with social media. So the uh, the other forms of distribution will change if you're in a food business,
Mm-hmm.
but the thought to get there is still the same. You want to know who your competitors, what sets you apart in the eyes of the consumer, because that at the end of the day is going to be who's going to make you successful.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some really cool channels of distribution that not a lot of people know about. U.S. Military Exchange, for example.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's about 4 or 5 branches that a lot of people who've never been on a base or an exchange think that um, they're dowdy or they think that they're old and all that. They're not. Far from it. They have a wonderful assortment. They truly care about their customers or patrons, and some of the exchanges can do well over $200 million a year, and they have home stores that are kind of like a Walmart, and they have fashion stores that are kind of like a Macy's, but it's not the same. They blend it a bit, and they're worldwide. So you got basically almost a little bit of American soil. Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany just does over $400 million a year, and they have all the stuff you'd expect to see in America, but they're all these exchanges around the world. And it's the same principle goes through as to how do you make yourself successful. You got to know who your customer is, and you've got to make sure you have all the P's tied down. And you always want to start off with a pilot test.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had some great experiences in just about every category, whether it's bringing American Eagle Outfitters into the U.S. military and helping them expand, whether it's taking proactive Zit Cream that
Mm-hmm.
was doing very well in DR, direct response business, and taking them into carts and kiosks and then malls and department stores.
Hmm.
So that's kind of unusual, but when you reverse it, but all of that is involved with um, making sure you know your product, making sure you know who your end customer is, testing.
Hmm.
Testing is so much cheaper. Whatever cost you think you're going to have, than rolling something out and wishing you had done a test and didn't have so much cost to
Yeah.
change it. Um, I don't know, do you ever do screen shares in your interviews?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Do you want to do a screen share?
Well, I could do that if you like. I
Yeah, why
got
don't
it.
you do that? That'd be
Okay,
great.
and then let me move this over here and I'll
I think you
pull
can
up
do it.
a,
Let's see. Make sure you can do it.
okay, I've got it now. Where are we? Okay, here we are. Oh, this is Zoom. That's right. Okay. Number two. Do you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So this will give you a little bit of example of some of our business that may transcend. We helped bring Walmart to Canada,
Hmm.
and then we helped facilitate placing all of the third parties in their stores.
Hmm.
Target was a client of ours. These are some of the only a few of the folks we've done business with.
Hmm.
Tim Hortons, we brought the U.S. military exchanges. Harry and David, FAO Schwartz, Proactive, Wyland. And one of the things that we have, this is a personal favorite of mine because I fancy I discovered MAC Cosmetics when it used to be only in the Hudson's Bay Company, used as a training for their hairstylists for a company called The Haircutting Place. Uh, I had to fight. I wish I had a piece of the 4 billion that Lauder bought them for. This is an
Hmm.
example of a store in store, the largest um, manufacturer of vitamins and supplements in the world, and we ended up creating 167 SKUs with everything from powders and teas and launching them inside of Macy's in Herald Square, House of Fraser in England. Uno to 50 is another example of a store in store. They're out of Madrid, a fashion jewelry line, and very successful. Um, a real fun project we had was a company that had 3 or 4 patents for creating foundation for women that was closer to the color of their skin.
Hmm.
We launched it in Bloomingdale's and a few other majors, no more than 6 or 7 stores, and set the stage for L'Oreal to acquire us. And they bought it for about 150 million, and then
Nice.
launched it into Nordstrom.
Nice.
So the channels of distribution we talked about, everything
Hmm.
from Macy's to Bloomingdale's to Belk's department stores, where we've launched different programs.
Hmm.
I talked about road shows. An example of a road show, here's a Costco with a mandolin slicer and cold press, which we designed from ground up, the marketing, the look. And this is an hour before the store opened and an hour after the store opened.
Oh my gosh.
We were
Wow.
tracking at $10,000 a day
Oh
in
wow,
those
that's
few weeks.
great.
Yeah. We just launched a brand new line, a large company that has some unique, efficacious and safe pest control
Hmm.
products, which we're launching in Sam's Club and expanding like crazy.
Nice.
Some of the opportunities that I talked about with regards to pop-up retail and roadshows, these are just some photographs of some of them.
Hmm.
And it goes everything from things we'd all recognize like DirecTV to like Little Love Sack and Harry and David, which is a client of ours for years. And
Hmm.
we have uh, Whippet, which is a disinfectant type program.
Hmm.
These are some of the brands that we've done business with, and it's really meant to show you how disparate you can have as far as the kinds of um, products and services that you can get involved with third-party business.
Hmm.
Um, Target Corporation, uh, Frangos, you probably remember from them. This is another channel which I haven't spoken about yet, and I'll just call it automated vending. These are all programs which we've launched. everything from Body Shop, and the Proactive, which is the automated vending machine there as well as the kiosk. And you've probably, a lot of you and a lot of your viewers probably see these in airports. And
Yeah.
so we did quite a bit of programs with that. We created a pilot test with Sky Mall when they were alive.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Best Buy, we all know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the U.S. military, we've been proud to have been written up quite a few times in magazines.
Oh, that's great.
And the branches are the Exchange, which is Army Air Force, NEXCOM, which is the Navy, DECA, Defense Commissary, MCX, which is Marine Corps, Veteran Canteen Service, and Coast Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done business from the Pentagon, literally. We brought Wilson's the leather experts into the Pentagon. And our company owned a chain. I was half owner of a chain that we opened up. It was basically a vitamin shop with a juice bar, and we were bought out by GNC. Then we helped expand them into all the military.
Great.
We've just launched a new hearing aid program inside of the military, NEXCOM and APHIS, as well as we've got them tracking in Sam's Club. And what's really cool about that is maybe it's a combination of getting more gray hair. We're now in the position, my company is in a position to get involved with programs that are going to really do good for people and planet. I know it
Mm-hmm.
sounds a little altruistic.
No, that's great. You've always been like that, though. You've always been thoughtful in that way.
Yeah, thank you. So this is an example. A lot of people don't realize it, but what really got me hooked on getting involved was when I found out that 40 million Americans can't afford to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
there's a lot of very expensive hearing aids out there costing thousands of dollars. And so the program that have launched is now $400 instead of thousands of
Oh,
dollars.
that's good.
Yeah, it really is. And there's an example of a picture inside of an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
We're working with a company out of, I'm actually on one of the partners in a company out of London, England, with a top microbiologist, Dr. Lally Samedi Mustad, which is bringing products that are unique and differential from Europe with a lot of accreditation. It's a different world over there, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
And we're bringing them to the United States. So proven products, differential, studies done, and sales happening, and bringing them over here. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because I suspect there's a lot of products all over the world in different countries that could do so much better if they just knew how to get into another country.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't easy to get into America, even if you're in America, to get into retail.
Yeah.
So you can only imagine what the challenges are for somebody who's in another country. Um,
Yeah, that's
we've
good.
we've we've had the pleasure doing business with John Paul DeJoria, and we launched the first 3D phone in the world with telemedicine,
Mhm.
and we helped Walmart acquire it. We were
Well, a
instrumental in that.
3D phone, does
Yeah,
it look holographic like that? Does it come out at you like that?
yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was. You have to hold it
Uh-huh.
at the right direction, horizontal, and
Okay.
because our eyes are that way. And yeah, we had telehealth and roadside assistance and medical, and we opened up in hundreds of stores as well as in the .com.
So does that like shoot a hologram of yourself so you can then talk to your doctor about your body parts, or what's the point?
Good question. No, the 3D version was when you looked at the screen, it actually looked 3D. It wasn't a
Okay.
hologram that popped
Okay.
out. And yeah, you had the ability 24/7, which was especially useful during COVID.
Hmm.
Whereas we all probably take telemedicine for granted right now, but um, anyway, we were quite helpful in having the acquisition of our partner, MEMD, to be bought by Walmart.
Great.
We then were engaged by a company which has one of the first phones that pays you to use the phone.
Oh, wow.
It pays you when you charge it. It pays you when you fill out surveys, and we helped grow. We put them into Walmart, and we helped grow their a number of subscribers from 18 million to 40 million in less than 9 months.
So what are they going? They're getting the data from you. That's why they're paying you, or
Yeah, you can opt
okay.
out. You can opt
Mhm.
out, but if you choose to, we had especially in the Southeast Asia
Mhm.
area where maybe jobs are a little bit harder and the US dollar is a lot more valuable. There is people that are making thousands of dollars a month. Uh, and the average American was doing about 1,000 a year, $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah. These are some of the companies that have all worked in non-traditional retail with us,
Mhm.
and doing things like making optical much smaller instead of the lens crafters with thousands of square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, we take it for granted because technology and AI is on our side. You look at Warby Parker's done, and a lot of companies. We're affiliated now with a couple of companies, Opticale and a few other folks. We're also involved with some very unique leading edge products, and it goes back to what I said a minute ago about the planet, right? It's one of the
Mhm.
things we look at. So the biggest contributor in the world to CO2 is concrete, making cement and concrete.
Mm.
So we created a program and launched business and got an MOU with the largest manufacturer of concrete in the world in China through a company that's called Enzymatic.io. And
Okay.
there's an enzyme technology that allows concrete to have become less porous.
Hmm.
And instead of becoming one of the largest contributors of concrete, it actually becomes carbon neutral and it can actually become carbon negative.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, no, it's a really big deal. Um, let's see. And that's probably enough to bore everybody because
No,
they'll
I
sleep
think
in
that's
this.
good. I mean, if
Yeah,
somebody has a product and they want to come to market, that's a lot of really valuable information.
thank you. Thank you. Well, is there anything specific you want to go over and ask me that for your
Yeah,
watchers, your viewers?
yeah, let's take an example, a step-by-step example. Let's say I have a product and I bring it to you. You know, I know you're going to help with, besides the questions, you're going to also help with the packaging. You're going to help
Yep.
with a lot of the guidance. So walk me through it and tell me the steps so that I could, anybody can learn how to do this.
The first thing I would say is, uh, where are you currently selling it? If you don't have any sales, that's okay.
Mhm.
What's your vision? What do you see happening in the next 12 months? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years?
Mhm.
What sets your product or your service apart from the competition? And most of them will not have done a competitive comparative analysis, like I mentioned.
Mhm.
And so we send them off to that. The next thing is almost 80 to 90% of the people who we talk to won't tell us the whole truth. They'll
Mhm.
tell us the truth, but they'll forget to say, well, we need about this much more money, or we have another 3 months worth of work to do before we can do that part of it. So my comment is, it's like when you're talking to your doctor or your lawyer, when you're talking to someone who's trying to take your business to market, be honest. Don't
Yeah.
be embarrassed. Tell them the whole truth, not just part of it. And most of them don't understand what P&L is or forecasting.
Mhm.
They think they're just going to go to market, and it's like you better have somebody who can do all your accounting behind the curtain, if you want to call it that. So your back office is almost as important as your sales group. And depending on the size of your company, it's actually healthy to have a little bit of conflict. The CEO of the company should have a CFO who can kick them in the butt sometimes and say, "Oh, wait a minute, now we don't have enough money to do that. What are you talking about?"
Uh-huh.
So even a small business should have meetings with itself,
Mhm.
and whether it's whiteboard or whatever, but it should be with an agenda. And if you're a small business, you're not used to certain things. Time management's critical.
Mhm.
So you should always have an agenda for a meeting that you're going to have. You should be monitoring and measuring your team, just like you monitor and measure yourself, especially if you're a company that still allows people to be working outside of the office.
Mhm.
So as far as taking that first meeting is important. You want to I insist on looking at, feeling, and touching and trying the product.
Mhm.
And the other question is, do you have a plan for an investor? Tell me about your investment. Who's invested in the company? What's the cap table? And the investor would be about 50 to 60% of the people that we help out need funding. Now, I'm not
Uh-huh.
saying right then,
Uh-huh.
but they'll need funding. So you might as well start working now on building a presentation, a business plan. What a novel thought. For the company to, it's your roadmap.
Mhm.
A good business plan is not just an encyclopedia that you pay by the pound for. It's actually a plan you use. It should be dog-eared and followed up with, and of course, in today's digital,
Mhm.
uh, the equivalent of dog-eared. So the bottom line is have a plan, monitor, measure, and know that you're gonna have so much time before you have to have more money. A
Mhm.
lot of people don't realize that, when they're selling those widgets, that there is a point in time where your success can be a real problem because of
Mhm.
the drag time to build the product, ship it over, pay your tariffs, ship to a warehouse, have it sit, get a PO,
Mhm.
pay to ship it to the retailer, or pay to ship it to the e-commerce person. There's, 60, 90 days. Oh, but
Mhm.
wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Before that even started, you had to have the design done. Do you have patents? Do you want to have a patent? Maybe it's more appropriate that you protect yourself
Mhm.
if it's not easy to re-engineer it, to have a proprietary aspect to it. So all of these kinds of things we go through uh, with a new client or a new product from an existing client, and actually that's part of the fun. We have some really cool people on our team that have got many years of experience, Target, Neiman Marcus, all that, and it's I guess I would describe it as being akin to either writing a musical a tune
Mhm.
with a partner,
Okay.
and after you finish it, you you put it on and you listen to it together and you go, I was a part of that. Or if you're a painter, you help someone with a little bit of the painting and you admire it. You feel you had an impact on helping create success. And that's what everybody in our team enjoys doing. It's a vicarious, very vicarious moment when you have success.
Mhm.
Success is interesting, isn't it? Everybody will
Yeah.
participate, but only one person takes the failure, right? Everybody points the finger.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things in whatever you're doing is a good friend of mine, Joel Rath, used an expression I stole from him called "You get one chance to premiere off Broadway." So wherever you're going to test something, do it somewhere where if you get a black eye, no one's going to notice,
Yeah.
or be less likely to notice, or even if you're not worried about a black eye, you just want to break the code or get it right.
Mhm.
Do it in a place where before you go to Broadway. So
Mhm.
off Broadway first, then Broadway. And we haven't talked a lot about financing,
Mhm.
but that CFO is very important. Making sure you have funding. We haven't talked about IP, intellectual properties.
Mhm.
Some people there's a lot of people who think that there's something protectable. They can spend a lot of money on intellectual property. And in my humble opinion, not all of this. Half the time, your 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 patents and whatnot are probably more for a marketing tool
Yeah.
because somebody once told me that your patent's as good as your pockets are deep with money.
Yeah. Well, somebody can just alter it just a little bit and then they can do the same thing.
Yeah,
It happens all the time.
yeah. So there's a lot to that first meeting. Someone comes to me and says, "What should I do? What do you got? Where
Mhm.
have you been? What's your plan? What's your vision? How do you measure success? How do you measure failure? How do you measure ho-hum? Where do you want to be in 5 years?
Mhm.
Um, is your plan to do America only first? Yes. You're going to be here next 2, 3 years? Well, yeah, that's what I just said. Well, hang on. You want to wait for 3 years before you go to Canada, Europe, or South America or Mexico? Yeah. Well, why not? Why not license it? Why not get somebody who's in that country who has distribution and do a deal and say, look, I got this widget. It's amazing. It glows at night. It'll make breakfast for you. You should bring it and sell it in Europe. You sell it in London. But find somebody with distribution, somebody who gets the joke, who understands it and loves it, who will take your baby and dress it up in clothes and have it be found in the right place, brand right places. So those are things, and that's very usual. Most people are so focused, as they should be, on getting things right in America, and they forget about, well, if it's that good, maybe we can get. And the other thing is too is that and it's this off Broadway thing. You know, what would you do, Debbie, if Walmart said to you, "We're going to launch you in 300 stores. Where
Uh,
would you like to go?"
I'd probably go sit down for a minute because that's a lot of money that I'd have to put out for the product.
Okay.
You know?
Let's talk about that seriously, though.
Yeah.
300 stores.
And
You'd
then what
want,
happens with returns? If they don't sell it within a certain time and they send it all back and then you eat it,
yep.
it's not most things at Walmart are on consignment, right?
Well, yes and no. It's almost consignment because they like to pay you in about 75 days, but if, you could try to do a 2% net 10. I've done business where they paid me in front, paid my client in front.
Hmm.
But the point I was trying to make poorly was
Mhm.
that um, if you're not going to support the launch of your product by marketing or promotion or social media, if you're not going to do anything and just give it to a retailer to put it on the shelf, does that sound right?
No,
No.
not at all.
So we've just said that, because Debbie's smart,
Mhm.
we're going to do things to help support the success of my launch.
Mhm.
Okay, now, therefore, the next statement is pretty clear, a lot more clear now if I say, you don't want to be all over America.
Mhm.
If Walmart says to you, I'll give you 300 stores, you want to do some micro marketing in certain
Mhm.
pockets. So
Yeah.
we would say, what's the demographics of that widget?
Mhm.
Is it this household income here, or is it there?
Mhm.
And is there any ethnicity involved in it? Well, it's a rice maker. Oh, well, maybe we want to be in San Francisco.
Mhm.
So you want to pick markets that are appropriate for your product, and you might want to pick two or three or four markets that were demographic. And the other thing is, you don't want to pick a market that's so damn big, it's going to cost you a fortune. A lot of people like Los Angeles, it's huge.
Yeah.
You spend a fortune trying to market. So you want to pick a market that's uh, within your budget, says your
Mhm.
CFO,
Mhm.
and you end up with the ability to have a measurement of success, failure, or ho hum. That again, going back to what I said earlier, data. You want to collect that data. You want to
Yeah.
understand and what's the right channel. And so those are. Did that help answer your question?
Yeah, and it also is a good explanation on why data is so important. I mean, we all hear about data mining and how all the companies are collecting data for marketing. And you and I know that because we're in the industry, but uh, people need to know that that amount of data can save you, thousands of millions of dollars because you can then send the market right for that particular product. It's really
Absolutely.
important. Yeah. Also for distribution, I mean, data is how they choose everything. And it's unfortunate that we have to categorize people and stereotype people so much, but that's based on their buying habits is really how they collect their data.
So true. So true. And there's a lot to be said about time management, and especially with small to medium-sized companies. Um, and we kind of talked about that briefly in this interview. But time management is not just yourself;
Mhm.
it's the team, it's the company, and having a good filter.
Mhm.
And the filter could be the executive's assistant, the unsung hero of probably every successful CEO, right? Is the executive assistant.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, now it's AI.
Right. Yeah, how does AI play into all this? Now, this is at least one industry where AI is not going to be able to take over all the sales jobs and all that. There's human jobs that are in this industry that are going to stay there, but then a lot of it can be outsourced. What do you think about all that?
It's going to be an integral part of sales.
Mm,
Strangely enough, we're already, myself included, we're already very much using, exploiting AI. And AI could be everything from helping develop a script for your salespeople on the floor
mm-hmm.
to creating literally. We did a project this past week where I would have had to spend thousands of dollars for a graphic artist to create a presentation, but it really does require good English. It's like talking to somebody who's got a kindergarten understanding. But if you can say exactly what you want to have happen with AI for a presentation, it really is amazing. It's scary how good it is. But after you do that, well, you can also spot if somebody sends you AI, you can see that they weren't using it themselves. So there are
Yeah.
there are ups and downs, but it's a huge time saver. It's a very wonderfully creative tool,
Mhm.
and it's going to be it is for my office. It's now indispensable. It's just
Hmm.
amazing how much time I'm saving.
Hmm. But the people that meet with the buyers usually are humans, right?
Yeah, I don't know anybody. Any good buyer has to meet. Obviously during COVID, that was a beginning for the first time of the relationships changing so much. But everybody's moving back now, most everybody. But yeah, meeting and having the sampling
Mm-hmm.
and being prepared. There is, I mean, frankly, if you're meeting with a buyer, if it's even if it's not a really big consequential buyer, bad on you if you don't do little things like role play.
Hmm.
I mean, it's amazing how much more uh, comfortable you'll get when you have a good agenda that you don't have to read, you
Hmm.
just reference to it,
Hmm.
and you have, I think, a little bit of humor in your meeting and presentation.
Hmm.
And as a Canadian, I find that I have more become more Americanized, but I still enjoy the repartee of a little bit of socialness in a meeting.
Yeah.
And um, and I found that Europe very much so, Canada less, America less.
Mm.
And I think that's one of the things that we have people that we have done business with for decades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Dad did too.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's frankly that's the joy of it all. It becomes more than just business, and
Mm.
you can't BS that. People read through if you're genuinely having fun and you want to do good, and if you practice your business win-win, you treat and there's some really good examples of retailers who have just done such a good job because they treated their vendors with respect.
Mhm.
Um, I, I loved it when we were in business with Target for many years. We had 5 contracts going at the same time, and watching how they treated, I just said, I wish everybody, they called their vendors partners in business. Isn't that
Hmm.
cool?
Yeah. Yeah. Target is
And
a good company.
yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of the Target folks now are all over the country, but there's a new CEO coming in, and he's going to be very good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
it's important. I mean, especially if you work so much as like you do and like I do. The people that you meet in business turned out they're really your friends, and if you're bringing the business to someone and it makes them look good to their bosses, that is
yeah,
also helpful too. So having a good product or a good thing that you're representing, if you do it with integrity, for the purpose of benefiting both parties, then the relationship can last a long time.
yeah. And you'll find that the people that are real out there, who do this for more than just the dollar in the business. I remember John Paul DeJoria, gets involved with helping out the homeless and the veterans,
Yeah.
and it's all real. And when COVID hit, when I worked for about 10 years with John Cameron and his brother James Cameron. Um, and when COVID hit, everything stopped. What can we do to help out with this catastrophe? And we are involved with some really cool things, some new forms of technology for masking. And when you see people who don't have to do that,
Mhm.
step up to the bar and say, okay, what can we do? Those are the kind of people that practice win-win in their business as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's another thing, frankly, I'm glad we're talking about this because on my little hit list when I'm talking with new clients and whatnot, it should be on everybody's hit list, and that is philanthropy. What
Mhm.
is that thing? And then at the same time as we say, well, what's your philanthropy? What do you want to do? And we say, why? How did you get there? Because I'm interested. But it's also become secondary. Okay, that's great. Now I know what you want to do. But let's make money so you can do that.
That would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I started this platform was because with AI and everything that's changing with technology, people are going to have to change their jobs. And so I wanted to talk to a lot of different people that have done that or people that are in business that can help them with advice so that when people try to navigate to new things, they'll have the tools that they need in order to get there.
yeah, good plan. I think that's be really important now more than ever. Interestingly enough, if you do a study and you see uh, when the catastrophes hit any country and you end up with a lot of layoffs, whatever the cause was,
Mhm.
that's when entrepreneurialism thrives.
Yeah.
People who maybe didn't quite have that impetus to step out and take a risk and work out of their house to begin with, or how many stories we've heard about people, like Britannia Jeans, the owner who started that, he sold Britannia Jeans out of the trunk of his car,
Hmm.
and all the stories we've heard from people who made it big and they believed in something. But if you're a little bit too comfortable and you're in a job and you got a family, but now when you get something happens and the company goes bankrupt or there's something, that's why you'll find a big spike in new ideas and inventions, which I think America is famous for.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so too. Well, I think we're out of time, but this has been really great talking with you about this. I really appreciate all your
My
advice,
pleasure.
your help.
My pleasure, Debbie.
Anything else you want to add to wrap it up for anybody?
Well, I would just say that, I hope this has been help to anybody, and if they want to call or give me an email or a website, you've got that. We're not a taxi cab. We don't put on the meter and start paying us because we have a phone call.
Mm,
We've helped a lot of people over the years.
mm.
So I hope this has been of some interest. If not, if it is interest, then maybe we'll call it edutainment.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you, Robert. Really good to
You're,
see you again.
you're welcome, Debbie. It's my pleasure. God bless.
Okay. All right. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
too. Bye.